welcome back to my channel. If you're here, chances are you are someone that really enjoys going out to eat, whether that's with the girls or on a cute date night. But you've noticed that all of that going out to eat, overeating, and overindulging in happy hour a little too much, treat yourself to a whole new level, isn't really doing you much good, and it's kind of leaving you feeling pretty guilty around your food choices and just not feeling your best throughout the week. Maybe you've noticed that you've just gotten more bloated, sluggish, and puffy, and you're just overall not feeling as optimal or ideal as you should be. And because of that, you're a little more strict or intentional with your food choices and portions during the weekdays. And then the weekends come up and the cycle happens all over again. Well, don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to be sharing my best tips on how to eat out and still feel really good. And I'm also hitting on a topic that you need to hear and what other people may not be telling you. If you're new here, hi, I'm Charissa, a registered dietitian, and I help women find their healthiest food balance free of guilt, stress, or restriction. And I know how hard it may feel to balance a thriving social life and having fun with friends with also being healthy and achieving your wellness goals. It may seem impossible, but let me tell you from personal experience and also my clients' experience once they start coaching with me, that it is possible. And it seriously feels so amazing to be able to go out there and live your life and have fun with people around you, but also be able to listen to your body and nourish it well and start and stop eating at a point that makes you feel comfortable and confident and leaves you feeling really good by the end of the night and long term. Even though I'm a dietitian, I always say that health isn't just about what you eat. There are so many factors that can contribute to overall health, and one of them is a sense of community and sharing wonderful experiences and moments with loved ones. And I don't care how healthy you're eating, if the way that you're eating is causing you to isolate yourself and be on track with every single little thing, and that's hindering you from enjoying your life and experiencing new restaurants and new places and eating with friends and family, then I'm so sorry, but that's not healthy at all. For your sake, you need to learn the tools and strategies to be put in those environmental situations and still feel confident to eat well, nourish your body, and have fun at the same time. And that is a skill that's gonna take you through day-to-day as well as just long-term health, baby. And I have some tips that I'm going to share with you, so let's go ahead and get into it. So to be able to choose the healthiest, best option for you, there's a few things that we need to consider. At restaurants, are we focusing on calorie content, macronutrient ratio of the meals, the quality of the food, like where is this food coming from, how is it cooked, and portion size? Truthfully, when it comes to your health, you kind of need to think about all these factors from the day-to-day. But when you're at a restaurant, you know, a lot of times we don't know what exactly is getting put on our plate, how much is something that's on our plate, or, you know, the specific calories and macronutrient breakdown of those plates. But don't let that discourage you, because there's also two other factors that you can take into your hands and that you can control, such as one, the items you choose to eat at the restaurant, and two, the portion size that you are actually going to eat. So let's break this down a bit. So when choosing what to eat at restaurants, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Am I craving anything specific? Now, this is an important question to ask yourself because it addresses, you know, mainly the funnest reason why you're out to eat in the first place. Like, you want to eat good foods, and maybe you're craving something specific that led you to that restaurant in the first place. So say I am at an Italian restaurant and I am craving some sort of pasta dish, right? And this is like from personal experience, like I am always craving some kind of pasta dish. So let's say we're at an Italian restaurant and I would ask myself, what am I craving? Well, I am craving a red sauce pasta. Sometimes I fluctuate between red or like a white creamy pasta, but in this scenario, I'm feeling red. What type of pasta do you usually gravitate towards? Let me know in the comments below. So this question addresses the level of satisfaction that you're gonna get with this meal, as well as increase the enjoyment of the experience. So most people stop here, and I think that's why we kind of get carried away of like, we're really just eating whatever we want and in portions that are whatever because we can't control ourselves. So this is the big mistake that a lot of people are just stopping here. But don't stop here. You need to ask yourself this next question. What what is the food that I'm wanting giving me? This question allows you to really think about the nutrient composition of the food that you're gonna get. So going back to the pasta example, right? We have a red pasta, and from the description, the red pasta contains pasta sauce, noodles, fresh basil, and some Parmesan cheese. So breaking this all down and thinking of it from a nutritional standpoint, the noodles are supplying us a good amount of carbs. The tomato sauce will be supplying us some vegetables and flavor. The cheese is going to supply us some protein and fat. But can anyone see why this might not be the most balanced option out there? And what is missing on this plate that is really a key factor in helping us stay full and satisfied and satiated? Well, if you know the answer, keep it in your head, think about it, because this leads me to the next question that you're gonna ask yourself. What can I add to this meal to make it more balanced? Using my balanced plate blueprint, you can see that the pasta dish is really hitting the mark on carbs, but really falls short with protein and color. Yes, I said before that tomato sauce is technically vegetable or color in the plate, but it's really not in portions that are really going to make us feel good, full, and satisfied. Same thing with the cheese. So the cheese has some protein and fat, but again, it's not at the portions and levels that you're going to want in a meal to really make it complete. So in the scenario of the red pasta, I would add a good source of quality protein. So we could add some ground meat, maybe some meatballs on the side, ground chicken. And for color, I would definitely add, if there's not already a vegetable in the pasta, maybe adding a side salad. And if you're not a fan of raw salads or raw vegetables in general, you can try to opt for a cooked vegetable. A lot of times these places have like sauteed spinach, broccoli, literally a lot of different options that you can choose, but get in that source of color vegetable and you're good to go. And I want to point out that, let me tell you, don't feel weird ordering a side salad or a vegetable, because I've come to find out, even in my personal life, like people low-key want the salad, they just never order it. I feel, not never, but it's just not as common to order. I feel like once I do order the salad, everyone wants in, like everyone wants a taste, everyone wants a bite, and everyone's always happy that someone at the table got some sort of vegetable. So be that person at the table that is like, no, yeah, like let's get a salad, everyone eat their greens, everyone have a good time. By using this 3-question technique, you're not only getting the foods that you're craving and the ones that you want, but you're also getting foods that you need that are a little bit more health promoting and filling and satisfying. So going back to the things that you can control, we already hit on what items to choose. But now let's talk about the portion you're eating, because this might be the hardest part that a lot of people fail to know and learn. So I'll say this now, and I say this with so much love. Eating something when you're beyond full isn't going to make the food taste better. It's not going to save you money, not getting your money's worth, and it doesn't leave you feeling your best. Or is it a good habit to keep on doing? Does your food taste better when you're already freaking full and maxed out? Is there a way for you to enjoy the food without overeating and without going overboard? What would that look like for you? What would that feel like to you? So I had a client who really struggled with her relationship with food, and she was young. She was like 23, so she still wanted to have a thriving social life. And after work, she would tell me that her and a couple of her coworkers would go to an ice cream spot to kind of unwind and talk about work and just like hang out, which there's nothing really wrong with that. Like, I love that. But oftentimes she told me that it kind of bothered her because she wasn't really hungry stepping into these situations. And oftentimes she would have literally already eaten and felt full from her previous meal, and it's like, okay, like why am I getting the ice cream if I'm really kind of not hungry? She noticed that she would just kind of be eating to eat and get to a point where she just couldn't stop eating. And it's just crazy because she would already feel full from her previous meal and not hungry whatsoever, but then it's like, okay, I got invited to this ice cream thing, I still want to hang out, I still am there for the vibes, but once I'm there, I end up getting 2-3 scoops of ice cream, feeling really full and kind of gross by the end of it. So she kind of felt like she was falling into this pattern and felt a little stuck on like what she should do. So having worked with her, we kind of talked through this, and using these techniques and kind of challenging some limiting beliefs, she was able to still hang out with her coworkers, go to the ice cream spot, but listen to her body and be able to start eating if she's hungry, but also stop eating once she was comfortably full, no matter if she finished the whole thing or if she only ate half or quarter of it. And this is what helped her make that change. She let go of certain limiting beliefs that were holding her back. She said it clicked in her brain that in the past she would have eaten the entire ice cream even if she wasn't hungry, because she felt that she didn't want to waste her money. But talking through it, we realized that money has actually nothing to do with it. The money was already spent, and her eating one bite or the whole thing of the ice cream doesn't change the fact that she still spent $10 on the ice cream. And some of us really do need to realize this. And I totally get it. I was definitely raised with that mentality as well. But in terms of long-term healthy relationship with food, we really need to challenge these beliefs. So if the amount of money that you're paying actually doesn't affect anything, would you still eat the same amount of food? Isn't it more freeing to eat in a way that leaves you feeling satisfied versus overly uncomfortable and a little bit sick or grossed out? Now, portion control is really important to keep in mind when you're eating out, but how does one actually start eating when they're hungry and stop eating when they're satisfied and like a comfortable level of fullness? Now, some of us have that innate ability to distinguish that fine line between like, I'm satisfied, I'm good, I don't need to eat, and then like, ooh, I'm really overdoing it, I feel like I overate, I'm not feeling too great. But some of us have a hard time teetering that line. And oftentimes we kind of go overboard or we go way underboard because we're scared of getting overboard. Well, when you go through years of dieting, hopping on and off all these like fad diets and low calorie way of eating, restricting and binging, and feeling out of control around food, it's actually really hard for you to listen to your body's hunger cues of when to start and stop eating, because you've really gone against those cues for the longest time. If we're not feeling it well, our body is not going to allocate the resources needed for you to really be in tune and have those signals sent to your brain. So first things first is always make sure that you are eating enough and having consistent energy. But I also would suggest practicing with my hunger fullness check-ins, I like to call it, throughout meals, so that we can kind of increase the whole mindfulness of the eating experience. It's nothing crazy, and it actually doesn't even involve any physical action. It's really all in the mind. So when you're out, I want you to do a little mental check-in with yourself. So before you get your food, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you? Put a number to that feeling that you're feeling. Take note of that number. Now, when your food arrives, enjoy it, start eating, taking bites, and somewhere in there, in the middle halfway point, check in with yourself again. On the scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you? Where are you at now? And start taking notice about how every bite is pushing you closer and closer and closer to feeling full and satisfied, and taking you up on that scale. And then again, check in with yourself. Somewhere along the way, ask yourself, where are you at now? Once you've established that you're around an 8, reason with yourself, okay? 8 is like sweet spot number. Are you okay stopping at an 8? What if I push myself to 9? How would that make me feel? Do I want to feel that way? And that's it. Those are my hunger fullness check-ins that I like to do. And I know these check-ins can be very mentally stimulating. So if you want to practice this before you actually go out in the real world and at that restaurant when you're kind of busy juggling conversation with friends or like trying to pay attention to the people around you, then practice this at home. There's no harm in doing it. It's one of those things where like if you practice it, it will literally become way more effortless once you're actually there at the restaurant. And it's gonna finally feel so easy for you to go to these restaurants with friends and family and significant others and be able to listen to your body on when to start and stop eating at a comfortable state, almost like it's nothing. So we've covered a lot in this video, but I hope these tips and tricks help you find balance when eating out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more balanced eating tips and healthy recipes. Now, I've only scratched the surface of this. What if there are moments where you feel pressured to eat even if you're not hungry? At holidays and parties, people are questioning you to eat and eat and eat. What do you do then? Well, with the holidays coming up, you really do need a clear plan on how you're going to tackle this, which I explain all in my next video. So click it to learn more about my easy plan to get you through this.